Hi, welcome back to Legendaddy's adventure. In this series, I play Skyrim on the hardest difficulty, and if I die once, I'll delete the entire save file. To spice it up, each video I will choose a comment with a suggestion for a restriction for that video. For today, Sasha Burger said that vegetable soup is forbidden, which turned out to be a good thing. Mr. Eddie Legend?
Yeah.
Hi. We took a look at your x-rays and we were confused to say the least.
Why?
There was only vegetable soup.
Yeah, that tracks.
So, in an attempt to stop his urine from being brown, Legendaddy had to quit vegetable soup cold turkey. To deal with the withdrawal symptoms, Legendaddy was advised to pursue a new hobby, like mineral collection. So the goal for this video is to get 6 out of 15 Daedric artifacts. Unable to part with his stash, he stored it in his chest for safekeeping. He then had a bountiful harvest from the garden he constructed last episode. With the fresh yields in hand, he made his way to Whiterun to make copious amounts of health potions. This was a response to him not having any vegetable soup. Which is kinda like when your doctor tells you to stop eating frikandelbroodjes so you just have Red Bull instead. I am not speaking from experience and I will live past 30. Continuing his good habits, Legendaddy got embroiled in a local drinking contest, but the bard in the background wouldn't shut the f*** up, which messed with the recording.
But then he went quiet.
Cease this nonsense.
Sure, my voice could use a rest.
Good boy.
With peace and quiet returning to the tavern, Legendaddy reigned victorious in his drinking contest, after which he blacked out and committed countless atrocities.
So, you don't remember Fontaine's statuary then?
I remember everything.
Does the name Gleda ring a bell? The star beauty of my farm? Kidnapped by a drunk loud and sold to a giant?
Legendaddy calmly let him know that this isn't the first time he engaged in human trafficking, and it won't be the last.
Okay.
Prone to using intimidation to get what he wants, Legendaddy applied similar tactics with Isolde.
Alright. You mean when you're sober?
The next stop would be Morvunskar. Without vegetable soup, copious amounts of drugs would have to do for now, and the excess potions fetched a nice price on the grey market, which in turn would pay for hunting supplies. Then, the Skyrim was mad Skyrimming, and a dragon spawned at a very inopportune moment. Fast travel wasn't an option, so Legendaddy led him to Morvunskar. Not being able to infinitely shield bash due to a severe lack of vegetable soup, he resorted to archery. If enemies bridged the gap, he could always fall back on his trusty mace. You see, Legendaddy is actually a master at whack-a-mole, and his father used to take him to the carnival all the time before Legendaddy bested him in single combat. The dragon promptly lost interest after he realized how much of a beast Legendaddy was. It was then time to enter Morvunskar. Using Poison of Paralysis, Legendaddy cut the threat level in half. For an incapacitated foe, is a harmless foe. A little trade secret is if you kill a conjurer, their summon will also cease to be, which will help a ton on Legendary. Healing his wounds with the power of God and anime on his side, Legendary ventured further into Morvunskar. It was here that he encountered 2 mages, and he disposed of the first one quite easily. The second one almost zapped Legendary to death with a snap of his fingers. It was fucked up. So the best bet an orc has is to wait 24 hours until you get your drunk uncle powers back. With that, Legendary was able to engage in sneaky archery, which whittled down the life force of the mage by just a smidge. So the plan was simple, albeit long and boring, which wouldn't do if the reach of my videos is based on algorithmic entertainment and how long I can keep a viewer engaged. So anyway, here's Subway Surfers. It took about 20 minutes, but with one final shot, Legendaddy felt his mark. He was immediately punished with Meridia's beacon, and after all of that bullshit, he was reunited with his drinking buddy Sam, who turned out to be a Legendaddy Daedric Lord, and he rewarded Legendaddy's service with the Sanguine Rose. This was another Daedric artifact to add to the collection, allowing us to spawn in Dremora summons at will. In the meantime, Legendaddy's side hustle was booming, and he decided to go on vacation in Markarth, where he learned that someone was eating the dead in the morgue.
We haven't caught anyone or anything yet. It's like it knows when I'm there.
And don't you forget it.
Upon further investigation, Legendaddy met a cannibal named Aola. She has a place where like-minded haute cuisine enjoyers can meet, but it's been overrun with Draugr. She recruits Legendaddy's help, and he quickly realizes that Aola is a psychopathic strongwoman. She checks all of his boxes, but then disaster struck as Legendaddy accidentally loosened an arrow into Aeola, and her anger was now targeted on him.
Grind your bones for my prey.
He caught feelings. Leaving the dungeon for a while reset Aeola's anger level, and the two cleared out the dungeon. Aeola then asked Legendaddy to lure the priest from Markarth to this place, after which she was immediately consumed by rage once again. Legendaddy knew the smart course of action would be to do her bidding right away. So Legendaddy tricked the priest into following him, offering him up as a sacrificial lamb to get back in Aeola's good graces. Instead, the entire cult turned hostile towards him. Legendaddy left the priest and hauled ass. He knew that everyone generally calms down in about 3 in-game days, so in the meantime, he set out to retrieve Azura's star, another Dietary artifact. Legendaddy was sent to an underwater fortress, which goes about as well as one might suspect. Deeper underground, Legendaddy has to fight an entire army of countless necromancers who are not above using the undead to do their bidding. He respects it. Legendaddy would then once again find trouble with an ascendant Necromazur, as he shot ice bolts that did quite a lot of damage. So the plan was simple, albeit long and boring, which wouldn't do if the reach of my videos is based on algorithmic entertainment and how long I can keep a viewer engaged. So to speed up the process, Legendaddy made use of lethal potions he concocts from the comfort of his own home. This went on for a few minutes, but after a while, Legendaddy made the final shot. Legendaddy was rewarded with nice loot and Azura's broken star. The Lady of Darkness then spoke to Legendaddy. Her star was infested with the soul of the evilest Necromazur and it had to be cleansed. So Legendaddy armed himself with the Sanguine Rose and called upon the otherworldly Leather Daddies for help. This was a good thing too, as the corridors in Azura's star were tight and there was not a lot of wiggle room once you really got in there. This was a dangerous place, and in sheer panic, Legendaddy activated his Berserker's Rage as he set one foot in the afterlife. He soon ran out of options as the hostile Dremora lords started cornering him. Realizing his Leather Daddy was lost, he made an executive decision and hauled ass. But Azura's star is unfortunately one-way traffic and he reached a dead end. The only option left to him was spawning in another Leather Daddy to distract his enemies and prey. Luckily, this was enough to keep the heat off of Legendaddy for the moment, and he bested the hostile Dremora lords. Sort of. As is custom within orc culture, he immediately devoured their hearts. It was then time to face the culprit of this all, and he was no match once Legendaddy severed the connection between his spine and the rest of his brain. When yet another Leather Daddy started joining the fray, it was a done deal.
As was destined, you are free to use my star as you see fit.
This would mean that we had yet another Dietary artifact to add to the collection. Legendaddy resupplied his stash and made his way to Solitude to get the Waba Jack from Sheogorath. This quest is not hard or dangerous, but just insane.
I don't think I like this place.
After Legendaddy was sent back, he was rewarded for his effort with the Waba Jack. Legendaddy was then viciously assaulted by a random dragon, and it took quite a bit of time to whittle down his defenses, but fortunately, there was a fearless Windhelm guard face tanking all the damage, with no regards for his own safety. It was sick. This resulted in Legendaddy earning a Dragon Soul, which are hard to come by in the early stages of Legendary. Enough time had passed in the meantime, and Legendaddy sought out Aeola to see if she had calmed down yet. She didn't know the meaning of the words, so in true Skyrim fashion, something had broken this quest, meaning that as it stands currently, Legendaddy would not be able to earn Namira's ring, as the last step that completes this quest is eating the priest. And he tried everything. A calm spell did not work, which was hot. Squaring up against Namira's disembodied voice was also to no avail. Waiting even longer didn't do anything either. In a last-ditch effort, Legendaddy taught himself to read to make the priest non-essential, and eat him that way. This kind of worked, but the quest wouldn't complete because the entire coven was still pissed off. We had tried everything, but the quest seemed utterly broken beyond fixing. With no other options, Legendaddy completed it via console commands. He did not think this was a big deal though, as the last piece of the quest does not involve combat or danger. You might make a case that this kills the integrity of the series, but I think it says more about the integrity of re-releasing a game 50 million times without fixing its broken quests. Being utterly mentally defeated by the woman that he loves, Legendaddy reached back into his chest, hoping to get one whiff of his oldest vice, vegetable soup. And that's it for today. Let me know which restrictions you would like to see in the next one. Goodbye.